All right, so hello guys, my name is Chirag. I'm part of CDS Reliability and Automation team. Today I'm trying to create a demo for Prometheus on a Kubernetes cluster. So I have my Kubernetes cluster ready. So this I created 2 days back, and we can see the configurations here. So right now what we have to do to set up Prometheus on it, we have to create a namespace in the Kubernetes cluster. So right now if you see, there are only uh, uh, four namespaces that are by default from the Kubernetes. We have the git repo ready, so it's right now sitting here, and all the configuration files that we require for Prometheus to set up are right now here. So I'll go to the readme file, and I have to run all these commands step by step. So first command, I have to log in into my subscription. I'll go here, I'll open up the command shell, I'll paste this command, I'll set my subscription to the current subscription. Then I have to put resource group, I have to set the context. So with this command the context will be set. Now I have to create a namespace. So to create a namespace I'm using kube control command. With the kube control command I can create a namespace called as monitoring. So once I give this command, so it should create a namespace with a name monitoring. So as you can see now, a monitoring namespace has been created. Now I have to set up the cluster role. So right now cluster role is already set up, so it should probably give me that the roles are already being set up. So it is right now giving me the cluster role YAML does not exist. So it basically means the cluster role.yaml file is not there. So I have to upload these YAML files onto my Azure CLI. So I'll just click on upload. So all this will be done through a build pipeline, so later will not be required, but for the demo I can just upload the cluster role.yaml file, upload it, then I can run the same command again. Now as you can see, the cluster role.yaml is already there, so that's why it was giving an error. So this was already created in the previous example. If you want me to create a new cluster role config file, I can just do I can just delete the cluster role, or I can recreate it, so that is fine. Next step is if I have a config map, so I have to get the config map. So I'll just upload the config map file as well. So the file is uploaded. So I'll create a config map that will be used by the Prometheus. So as you can see, the config map has been created. Now the third thing that I would need will be the deployment.yaml file. So I can upload the deployment.yaml file. I'll upload the service.yaml file as well. So now if I click on create Prometheus deployment, it will create a deployment. So just to give you the context, this is a YAML file, deployment YAML, which will contain all the details where the Prometheus needs to be set up. Next thing, in this we have to see if the deployment is going well or not. So deployment will take a few minutes. So let's see if the pod is ready or not. So the deployment is ready. As you can see, the age is 25 seconds. Now we have to set up a service so that we can access this pod. So I'll just click on get pod details. So I'll get the pod ID. Here I have got my pod ID. So now what I need to do, I need to forward this port to 8080 so that I can access it through port 8080. I'll just click here, copy, and then I need to paste it here. But in the name of the deployment, I have to change the name of my current deployment. So I'll just remove this. I'll get the pod name. I'll paste it. So now you can see it's forwarding. Next step is to add it as a service. So if I add it as a service, I'll be able to access this pod as a load balancer IP. So if you see this is created. To check the status, I can click on the namespace monitoring service name. Here we go. So now you can see the Prometheus service is running as a type load balancer, and it has the external IP of 40.88.227. So if and the similar stuff can be done via the pipelines. So as you can see, this is a demo pipeline in our Azure DevOps, where we can run all these commands as a pipeline, and it will succeed, and it will do a post checkout, and the jobs are getting succeeded. So we have done the authentication, and we can do it on the go. So if we have merged any change, the deployment pipeline automatically runs and updates updates our pod, updates our Kubernetes cluster. So as you can see here, we have the IP. Let's try to access this IP if we are able to access it. So here you go. So now the Prometheus has been set up. Here we can see there is a demo alert which is being firing. There is a state target rules. This basically shows that Prometheus is monitoring itself, and there are some states which are showing down, but these are actually not down. These are due to the API servers HTTPS settings. So if you see this error, it's valid for 10.0.1 but not for the public IP, so that is fine. Similarly, we can add the web URLs which we want to monitor, and if there is anything down, we can get an alert here. So next step is to do some monitoring based on the on this Prometheus, and do some black box testing that will cover in the next part. So for now, I think we have covered how to set up a Prometheus server on the Kubernetes cluster. We'll also set up we'll also set up Prometheus on the Linux machines. Setting up a Kubernetes cluster is a costly affair, so we have to yet to take a decision whether we'll run Prometheus on a cluster, or we want to run it on a standalone VM in Azure. So now if you see, this is running on the namespace monitoring. So if I do one thing, if I'll delete this namespace, if I delete this namespace, the namespace monitoring is being deleted, and here if you see, you will see that the terminating status is coming up, and once the terminating status comes up, the URL should no longer be valid. So now you can see it's unreachable. So this was a quick demo. I hope you will like it. Thank you. Bye bye.